Once, Lord Gautam Buddha was giving a lecture to his disciples about worldly bonds and fascination. He explained his followers that the real cause of misery in human life is these attachments. When a person is attached to worldly things, they experience sorrow. Therefore, the key to finding inner peace and happiness is to free oneself from these worldly bonds. After finishing his discourse, Buddha left the place and went to his dwelling. The next morning, a man approached Buddha and bowed to him, saying, "I know that you were teaching us about worldly attachments yesterday. I understood the meaning of your words, and I have left all my worldly bonds and come to you without delay. Please keep me with you from now on, as my goal from now on is to search for the truth of life." Buddha listened to the man and smiled softly. He asked, "What are those bonds that you have left?" The man replied, "I have parents, a wife and a child at home. My wife is very sick, and sometimes she is in so much pain that she wishes to die. My parents are also old and have many problems to manage. After listening to your speech yesterday, I realized that these worldly bonds are the cause of my sorrow. That is why I have left my family and come to you. From now on, my only job is to learn the truth of life from you." Buddha asked, "Have you left everything?" The man replied, "Yes, I have left my family and beloved ones completely, and I will not look back." Buddha said, "Are you sure that no relationship is left there by mistake?" The man said, "No, there is none. I am completely free from all bonds." Buddha smiled and said, "Okay, rest for today, and meet me tomorrow morning." The man spent the night thinking about his life. He realized that his whole life was filled with pain and that he had never taken a moment to think about himself. He was determined to follow the path of Gautam Buddha and fulfill the real purpose of his life. In the morning, he stood in front of Buddha's dwelling, bowed to him, and asked, "What shall I do now, Buddha? What is my next step?" Buddha replied, "You will make a long journey to the east. There is a wise woman named Shatika in a village there. You must bring whatever she gives you." The man vowed to follow Buddha's command and set out on his journey. It was a long walk in the scorching sun, and the man felt tired and hungry. He began to think that if he had stayed at home, he would have been able to eat his favorite food and rest. As he approached the village, a beautiful woman named Shatika greeted him and said, "I know that Lord Gautam Buddha has sent you. Please come in, as you must be very hungry. I am arranging your meal." Shatika served him a plate full of food, and the man was surprised to see that it was the same food he had been thinking about during his journey. The person was looking at Shatika's feet when she takes his meal. Shatika said, "Lord Buddha's feet are the most beautiful, and one who has got shelter in his feet is blazed." The man looked away in embarrassment and bowed his head. The person thought that if he could rest for a while, it would be very compatible. Shatika said, "Please take some rest this time. Your bed is ready, and I will fan you." The man was surprised again and said, "You must be a thought reader. You are reading my mind." The man lay down on the bed and began to rest, Shatika standing beside him and fanning him with a hand fan. The man secretly looked at her body and seeing all parts of her body. The man began to think, "What a beautiful woman with such a delicate body. Ah, she is a queen. How happy I would be if this woman were my wife." Seeing Shatika, the person also composed some poems about in his mind. Suddenly he remembered that he had a long journey ahead of him and told Shatika that he should leave. As he was leaving, the man thought that he would like to see Shatika once more before he left. He turned around and looked at her. Shatika said to him, "The human body is made up of blood, flesh, and bones. This body is perishable. One day it will be destroyed. What we see is just an illusion of our eyes." On hearing this, the man became frightened and said, "You are a prophetess, so you know my mind." Shatika said, "No, I'm not, but by the grace and devotion of Lord Buddha, I know life and can read the thoughts of the mind. That's why I'm telling you, there is nothing in this body, and it will ruin one day." The man was visibly embarrassed. He thought the woman, despite knowing my feelings, was so respectful to me. But what I'm doing with her, I'm a great sinner. He could no longer look into Shatika's eyes. He just leaves. He came back to Buddha and told him the whole truth. The man said to Buddha, "I have made a mistake. Please forgive me." Buddha said, "I knew your thoughts from the beginning. Now tell me, have you been able to break the bond of fascination?" The person said, "I have left the bond of my family and world as you said." Buddha said, "We cannot be free from bonds only if we give up the heavy bonds and fascinations from outside. You have left the family bond, but today you are going to bind yourself in another bond for which you consider yourself a sinner." The man said, "There you are right. I had many problems with my sick wife and old parents. I was sad and I wanted to escape from bad problems. Now I realize the real fascination is in me." Buddha said, "Man listens to what I say according to his interest. He does not listen to what he does not have an interest in. People seek anger, lust and desire outside. Lust and fascination come from desire. And if desire and lust are not fulfilled, then comes anger. You see, when we get angry, we find the cause of that anger in others. We say that I am angry for him. Never we say that I got mad because of my fault. If we want, we will not get angry anymore. Just like this, bond does not stay outside. It stays inside us, and it is only bond which is the root of sorrow."